Let me paint you a picture. You just woke up, you brushed your teeth, got your coffee, and now you're doing your morning stock preparation, spending hours scrolling through tens if not hundreds of different stocks, trying to find that one gem that'll make you profitable that morning. Have you ever wondered if there's a magical way to completely filter out thousands of stocks so you can only see the ones that fit your exact requirements? Maybe you're only looking for bounce plays, maybe you're looking for breakouts, maybe you're looking for gradual gainers, sharp gainers, long, shorts. Well, lucky for you, there is a way. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you my stock screener settings that I use every morning before I trade, so I can filter out all the noise and only go through stocks that I'd be genuinely interested in. This will save you tons of time, will give you a better watch list, and if you do it correctly, this in itself will make you a more profitable trader. Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. First things first, you're gonna need a screener. There are tons of different screeners out there, but some are better than others. But for the most part, they're all the same. If you don't have one yet, I definitely suggest getting one if you're looking to get in day trading seriously or even trading at all. It's an important tool to have in your arsenal and can be the difference maker of you making money or not. I'll be using Finviz for these examples, but most screeners will do just fine. I would normally be using TradingView Scanner, but TradingView Scanner costs money and Finviz is free. So I thought for you guys, we should be using Finviz for these examples. I'll leave a link in the description. Alright. So I don't know what type of trader you are. You might be a riskier trader than me. You might be a more passive trader. Everyone is gonna be different. That's why I'm gonna give you multiple different presets that I use so we can include all types of traders. I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't feel like you have to copy my settings for verbatim. Change them to whatever trading style fits you best. It's important rather than just copying my settings, you understand the thought process behind it. Also, make sure you watch this whole video because I will be leaving multiple different screener settings, and one of them is an absolute gem that works wonders for me. I'm also not going to be explaining each and every setting and why I'm using it because I have a bunch of different presets, and if I explained each and every one of them, this video would be an hour long. If you want more information or have a question of why I selected a specific setting, ask it in the comments and I'll try to answer. Alright, the first strategy we're going to be doing is for stocks that we want to buy and hold. These aren't short-term trades, these aren't day trades, they are trades that we can be confident in and not sell. Most of these charts should look like this, where they have steady and consistent growth. So you want to go to Finviz and then go to the screener tab, and this will take you to the screener. The first setting we want to change is market cap. We only want to be looking at stocks with over a 50 million market cap. This will filter out any and all penny stocks. Next, we only want to see stocks that are above the 20-day moving average. We want to see a beta over 1.5, EPS growth over the next 5 years should be over 10%, return on equity set to over 15%, then we want the current ratio over 1.5. Another cool thing about Finviz is that you can get more details about a specific filter if you don't necessarily know what it means. So for example, if you don't know what current ratio is, you can hover over it and see that it's assets divided by liabilities. So if you're wondering why I selected something, just hover over it and it'll explain what that specific filter means. As you can see, after adding all these filters, we get a nice little list of stocks. Now, I should also mention right now, not all these stocks down here are going to be good plays. That's an important concept to understand with screeners. You should treat them as filters, not absolute trades. This should be used just as a simplified list, so you don't have to look at 6,000 different stocks. What I normally would do is take this list, go through each and every chart, look up the company if I don't know it already, and see if I like it. If I do, I'll enter a position. So as you can see with all these settings, most of them are slow and steady gainers going up. You can also see that we have 18 stocks in this list. Maybe that's too big of a list for you. Well, you can simply make your settings more extreme. So instead of having an EPS of 10%, you can set it to 20%. Now you can see we only have 12 stocks to look at. That's the cool thing about screeners. You can customize them to whatever your needs are. You can also select which data you want to look at. So maybe you want to see the stock's performance. Well, you can just click this tab to do so. So you can get some really good information with these tabs. You can also hover over the stock's ticker and it'll show you a quick example of what the chart looks like. So you don't have to sit here and open each and every one on TradingView. So what I normally do is I hover over each and every one to see if I like the general style of the chart. Then I'll open it up on TradingView to do some more in-depth technical analysis. The next preset we'll be looking at is for oversold bounce plays. Here's the strategy for this one. We're looking for stocks that probably dropped too much and the market just overreacted. So what we want are plays like this, where there's a recent drop and the price is starting to correct itself. So we can enter or at least watch for a bounce play. These are usually really nice because bounce plays usually make big movers, and big movers bring in a lot of profit. And most of the time you're getting the stock for a pretty good price. So for this, we want the stock price to be over $5. We then want the RSI to be oversold, and this will give us only stocks that the market probably overreacted on. Next, we want to set the change to up, saying that it recently just started going back up. Then we want to set the relative volume to over 2, which is basically saying that we want to see stocks that have 2 times the volume it usually does. So with these settings, we're looking for oversold stocks that are recently going up and a lot more people are entering than usual. We got a nice set of stocks where if we go through them, almost all of them just recently went down and are starting to correct a bit. One recommendation I would have with this style of trading is to be a little patient. You don't want to catch a falling knife. Not all of these will bounce back up. Some of them will act like they want to correct, but then just keep falling. So I'd suggest just putting these on a watch list, watch them for a bit, wait for some confirmation, then enter. You can make some really good plays with this preset. This next preset is looking for breakouts. Breakouts can be really nice because once they are confirmed, most of the time they skyrocket. It's a really nice list to have just to watch every now and then for a potentially good gainer. What we are looking for are stocks like these, where it just now got to a new high and is ready to keep going. So for this strategy, we want the chart to be in a strong uptrend. To make sure we're getting that, we want the price to be above the 20-day, 50-day, and 200-day moving average. Next, we want the stock to be at a new high from the past 50 days. We also want return on equity to be over 20%. This is just saying that we want the company to be investing shareholders' money efficiently. We also want the debt to equity ratio under 1, so we know the company doesn't have a lot of debt and liabilities. The final setting we want is the average volume set to over 100K, so we know this stock is seeing some interest from people and is pretty liquid. You should get charts that look like this, going up and creating new 50-day highs. The play for these is just to watch them for a bit, maybe see if they're breaking a key resistance and giving some confirmation, and then you can enter. Again, not all of these are winners, it's up to you to decide which charts look good. Maybe you're a short trader and don't like trading long that often. Well, these next settings are for you. These are short plays. Most of the charts will look like this, price with a downward movement. The first setting we want to change is market cap. We only want to look at stocks over 300 million. We want the float short set to high at 20%. This is basically saying there are a lot of other short traders shorting these stocks at the moment. Next, we want an average volume of over 500K, saying that we want a big downwards movement and a lot of traders entering, giving us liquidity to exit the trade whenever we want. Then we want a relative volume over 1, so saying we want a volume higher than what it normally is. Then we want the current volume over 500K, and boom, you got a couple of stocks that have some great potential to enter a short position. What's cool about this one is the float setting. So when entering this trade, you can be confident there are others hopping on the same exact strategy you're doing. The next preset we'll be taking a look at is bounce plays off moving averages. So it should look something like this, where price came down and is looking to bounce off the moving average, using it as a support. And it's heading upwards. To do this, we want our price to be above the 20-day moving average, but we also want the price to be below the 50-day moving average. Then we want an average volume of over 400K, telling us this stock has a lot of activity, and then we want the relative volume over 1, telling us it's higher than normal. Then we want a current volume of over 2 million. As you can see, it gave us a lot of different charts that went down recently, but are looking to bounce off the moving average, and to start heading upwards. The next preset is for all my dividend traders out there. We'll be trying to find undervalued stocks that are looking to grow, but they also pay dividends. First things first, we want large market cap stocks. So we'll set it to over 10 billion. Next, we want a positive dividend yield of over 0%, telling us all these stocks pay dividends. Next, we want a PE ratio of under 20, saying it's potentially undervalued. Then we want an EPS growth for the next 5 years at over 5%, telling us the company is growing. We want a payout ratio of under 50%. We want a low PEG, giving us stocks that are undervalued. Then we want an EPS growth next year of over 5%. It's gonna give you a nice list. A lot of these charts will look different. Some will be going up, some will be going down. It's just important to realize that with these settings, we're looking for undervalued stocks that have growth and pay dividends. This next and final preset is gonna be showing you companies with insane growth and earnings. All these companies will most likely be a really good buy. We wanna be trading with the trend on this one. So we want the price to be above the 200-day moving average. We also want an average volume of over 400K, telling us there's a lot of activity. We then want an EPS growth for the year to be over 25%. We also want it to be over 25% for the quarter and the next year. Then we also want sales for the quarter to be over 25%. This in itself will give us some really strong companies. Then we want companies that are not oversold with an RSI over 50. And there you go. It's gonna give you some strong companies with great earnings recently, which most of the time means they're gonna be doing really good. If you got absolutely any value from this video, I'd really appreciate it if you took 5 seconds out of your day and liked it. Maybe you need a trading strategy to know when to enter or exit some of these stocks. Well, try this one out, where I made 130% profit within just 2 months of trading. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.